So hi again. I just realized that I had to add something else as I'm always thinking about things, and I think this is important enough for me to mention. So it's an addendum to the previous video about Bill Gates and depopulation that I failed to mention. Now, when I say people don't think things through, I guess maybe I've always been this way. I've always had to be the smart ass around to always ask questions. Like when I was growing up, peer pressure was not a big thing for me because if I had someone come to me, my friends come to me and tell me something, I would be the smart ass to ask a question like, why are we doing this? Do you guys consider this? Do you think about this? So, like when I was growing up, I remember sometimes some of my friends would want to go and do something they shouldn't do. They may see a bike that they want to steal or a tool that they may have wanted to steal from a construction site. And I would be the person to stop and like, hey, let's hold up a second. Have we considered the fact that these people may have dogs? Have we considered the fact that even though it looks like no one is home, someone may be home? Have we considered the fact that what if we get caught? What if we get shot after? I was the one who would always ask these questions, and sometimes my friends would be like, yeah, we didn't think about that. Okay. Well, this is a similar type of situation in terms of the population thing. Now, if they, whoever they is, I remember I'm always asking, we hear they want this, they want to do us this, they want, and nobody could ever seem to identify who this they is, or they are, or whatever you want, however you want to say it. But they use that term and they say they want to kill us off, they want to kill this, they want to kill that. Okay, let's assume, or let's go with the idea that these people who want to kill us all off are billionaires, a secretive cabal of people, powerful people who want to kill us all off and get rid of us. Have you ever thought about the fact that these people have so much money, but how they make their money? Where do they get their money from? They make their money on these, our shoulders. It's always been that way. They make their money from people like you and I going out there and supporting their stores, their overpriced cars, their overpriced clothing, their overpriced shoes. They make their money off of people in poor countries going out into mines, digging onto the earth and putting their lives at risk to dig up diamonds, gold, silver, cobalt. They need those poor people in Katanga province in eastern Congo to go and dig cobalt out of the ground so you, me, can have a cell phone that I can have this video going on right now and you can be listening to this video. They need those people. Do you think that these rich people, these quote unquote elites, are going to roll up their sleeves and go out there and work in those places? No. They need those people. They need them alive. They need to have those people around in order to do their bidding. Who's going to cook their food? Who's going to go out there and plant their foods? Are they going to go out into the groves and pick the vegetables that they're going to eat later on? Are they going to be the ones to set up their lavish parties and put everything together and serve food to all their rich friends? Of course not. They need us. They're not making money without us because we poor folks are the ones going out there and buying up their expensive stuff. We poor folks are the one out there working in the hot sun, laboring to make sure they can live their cushy and comfortable lives. We poor folks are the ones in there manicuring their lawns and making sure their properties look great. You think they're going to be doing their own plumbing? You think they're going to be out there painting in the hot sun? Of course not. They need us. So when we're talking about they're depopulating, they're trying to get rid of all of us. No, 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 no. Without us, they have no customers. Without us, they have no workers. They need us around. Even during the days of slavery, while the French were a little bit different in a place like Saint Domingue, or what we call Haiti, where they will just work the enslaved Africans into the ground and just replace them with others coming in because the French did have that kind of money. In some of the other colonial places, the British, the Dutch, the Danes, they did it a little bit different. They realized it was bad business to run their enslaved populations into the ground. So what some of them tried to do over time was to treat them better. Made sure that they were well fed, made sure they had food. It was a couple of things that were going there, you know. Number one, okay, if I feed them, they probably won't rebel. If I treat them well, they'll be loyal to me. That if I treat them well and some of the other enslaved people are disgruntled, they will come back to me and tell me what's going on because I'm treating them right. It was bad business to go ahead and kill your workers. It was bad business to run them completely into the ground, and you always had to keep going down to the market to buy more. It was great and good business and economic sense to treat them just well enough to keep them around, that they reproduce and give you more enslaved people that you don't have to go and keep buying at the market. Similar thing goes on today. While we may not be in chains, there might be economic slavery or some other type of slavery where we're out there doing their bidding for them to keep them rich and keep them wealthy. So when I say people don't think things through, this is sort of what I'm referring to. So Bill Gates, if that's who you want to point your finger at, the man has billions. Okay? Do you think he lifts a finger to do all the menial work around his house? As a matter of fact, do you think Bill Gates is sitting in his garage making computers still? There are people out there working for him doing this type of stuff. He needs those people. So, the other thing is, I think people confuse genocide with depopulation. While depopulation can mean a deliberate going in and wiping out a population or displacing them so they leave a particular place and you can say, okay, that's depopulation. That is not what is being used here. That is not the depopulation Bill Gates is talking about. Well, I shouldn't say he's talking about because he's not saying that. But that's not the concept that he has in mind. Have there been genocides over history? Of course. And I think people confuse those two. Genocides are where one group of people or a person or persons deliberately go into a place and try, that's their ultimate goal, to wipe out a group of people, an ethnic group, a different type, a different color. That's genocide. And while depopulation could include genocide, that is not what we're talking about here. So when we're talking about Bill Gates and you're throwing the word depopulation around and attaching it to his legacy and his name, understand that in most cases, I want to say people don't know what they're talking about in reference to this. Okay, say that's what you think he's doing. He's trying to kill off all of Africa with vaccines. Who's going to be over there going to those mines, digging up those diamonds, putting their lives at risk? Bill Gates? No. Warren Buffett? No. Elon Musk? No. Jeff Bezos? No. The heads of the De Beers company with all their billions from diamonds? No. They need those people alive. Of course, they might not care if they die, but they need them there. Africa has a lot of young people, young able-bodied men. That is what they need to keep them rich, to keep their money coming in. If all those people died off tomorrow, their business falls flat on their faces. So think it through. Think it through. Think it through. Don't fall for the conspiracy theories. You hear it, it sounds great. It sounds like it explains everything you need to understand. Easy and palatable to digest. Those people over there are the ones doing that. Those people are the ones doing this. Those people over there. They. Because then what it does, it puts a face for you to recognize and for you to point a finger at and say they're the ones responsible for this and they're the ones responsible for that. But life is not always that complicated. That's how I should put it. Sometimes a simple answer is the real answer. Instead of looking for some complex boogeyman somewhere around, That's not there. It's just all in your head. And again, I am not saying that over time you have not had situations where you've had groups of people, a person, who have not worked to try to exterminate, get rid of, trample on other people. This has happened all throughout the course of history, conquering and so forth. This has happened. But you have to understand that it's not always that way. If you don't understand why some gunman went into a building and shot up a bunch of people, you don't have to go ahead and say, well, the government is doing that. It's a false flag. They want to take away your guns. There are people in this world who actually, if they get a gun, will go and shoot people. Nobody has to stage anything. There are bad elements out there. There are bad people out there. So again, think it over, think it through, and understand when you're trying to take something like take the word depopulation and attach it to Bill Gates' expressed mission, you're completely missing. That's not what the man is talking about. And you're attaching a legacy to him and creating this image of the man being a villain, just out there doing evil and wicked things, when in reality he is actually doing something that you are not doing and you cannot afford to do right now. And that is to try to improve the lives of other people. While you're going home and flipping on your television in your air-conditioned home, if you're here in a place like South Florida like me, kicking up your feet, eating your food, there are people in other parts of the world right now suffering from a mosquito bite that gave them malaria. There are people in other parts of the world right now who are suffering with some other disease that over here, all you have to do is go to the doctor and you're taken care of. Or you have a vaccine that prevents you from getting that. I shouldn't say prevents you, but makes you immune or mitigates or lessens the impact. So let's think it through, okay? All right, take care.